Okay. So yes, I am Megan. My pronouns are she, her. I am a member of the Faith Formation Committee. And I am also your upcoming ALF facilitators for grades for 4th and 5th. So please sign up. It's free for you congregants. I will be a facilitator or co-facilitator, so that's me. I moved to Durango to be close to family in December 2023. After not being in a congregation, a UU congregation for 20 years, I made the decision that I was going to join this church. I am very thrilled that I'm turning 40 this year. I am also in my final year of my social work MSW. Liza Tregelius is my supervisor. And also I have 3 children, 2 twin toddlers that are not here, a husband, and me. So I'm going to talk about the lighthouse of community and the legacy of Unitarian Universalism in my life. In nature, communities are safeguarded. Animals gather in herds, not only for survival, but support, learning, and safety. The young ones are positioned in the center and is protected as they grow. We do the same. And nowhere is it more important than how we care for our children. For me, this protection came from Unitarian Universalism. I am a 3rd-generation UU. My grandmother joined the church before it was the UUA in 1952. And like my own mother, I was dragged to services from infancy to young adulthood, sometimes unwillingly, often impatiently, but always surrounded by a faith that held me when I didn't even know I needed it. I had the privilege of attending All Souls Unitarian Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's one of the largest UU congregations in the country. And when I was a kid, it was home to Reverend John Wolfe, and is currently being led by Reverend Marlon Lavenhar. It was because of the congregation, the programming that it offered, I got to bear witness. It's how I formed my faith. As a young kid growing up in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 90s, home to Oral Roberts University, a place where evangelical Christianity was the dominant force, I never saw my values mirrored in my school. While my classmates told me often where I would spend eternity, I was learning how to stand up for justice and listen to the voices of the oppressed and think critically of the world around me. I'll be very specific. It was at this church that I heard the voices of the survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre, a history that the textbooks and the Tulsa community itself barely acknowledged. But my faith, my congregation, platformed their survivors. And my grandmother, you bet your butt, dragged me so I could bear witness to their pain and what this community did to that population. I went to high school from 2000 to 2004. 9/11. It was at church we protested the war on terror and the looming threat of the Patriot Act. And growing up in post 9/11 America in Tulsa, Oklahoma was not really fun. But the church didn't just teach me what to believe, it showed me what faith in action actually looked like. But outside church, it was a different story. At school, I never felt safe. I was saturated by religious faith that looked nothing like the values that were instilled by me and my family. I wasn't just different, I was othered. My LGBTQ plus friends, my non-Christian friends, my friends from diverse backgrounds, we all felt like outsiders, and we were. We were repeatedly told that there was only one path and it was bookended by the word salvation. But at church, I felt seen. My marginalized friends felt safe there. We could breathe. We could be ourselves. We could not just exist. We could thrive. And it was the adults in the congregation that didn't just tolerate us, they cherished us. They didn't dictate who we should be. They allowed us the space to grow into what we were meant to become. Faith formation didn't just educate me, it shaped me. I remember sitting in OWL in 7th grade, learning about relationships, consent, and identity in the way that it was honest, affirming, and grounded in the values of respect and dignity. While my peers were navigating adolescence with shame and silence, I had space where I can openly talk and ask questions and be met with truth, lived experience, and love. I recall being a YRUU, which is a Young Religious Unitarian Universalist. Hey. And I would go to rallies and lock-ins. And those overnight retreats at my church and other congregations within our district, we would stay up all night debating, laughing, singing, doing skits. And it was extremely formative. They helped me gain a deeper understanding of myself, my faith, and my community. Then came 8th grade, the year my faith solidified. We visited various churches exploring Tulsa's religious landscape, and I will never forget, as a group of UUs going into an evangelical megachurch in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 90s, in the vast auditorium brimming with music, lights, and energy that was exhilarating and overwhelming. Their faith was founded on certainty, on clear rules, on expectations and consequences. But my faith was built on questions. So when we went to visit that church, all we had were questions. Unitarian Universalism doesn't dictate our thoughts. It doesn't require obedience. Instead, it provides us the tools to think, explore, and grow critically, supported. And that's when I understood the gift that I was given. I graduated from high school in 2004, and I knew who I was. Not because I received all these answers or prescriptions, but because I had been raised in a congregation that taught me how to ask the right questions. And now I look at the world today, the world that my children grow up in, and I cannot imagine navigating today's challenges with the distractions, without tools. Today's young people are growing up in a world filled with noise, constant information, social media, pressure, fear, and instability. More than ever, they need an in-person space to find grounding, trust, freedom to explore their identities. And that is what our church has the power to provide. When I invest in faith formation, we aren't just teaching lessons, we are centering our children in the middle of this herd. We are creating a lighthouse for them, a beacon of belonging that will guide us and navigate their lives. And we cannot take that for granted. So right now, we have an opportunity to shape a faith formation and what it looks like for the next generation, my children's generation. And you don't have to be a teacher or an expert. You just have to believe in the value of showing up. And there are some simple things that I find meaningful. If you want some actionable steps, I'll provide them. 1, you can support with funding. Your contributions can sustain the programs that we're starting to develop now in the Faith Formation Committee. 2, if it's really in your heart and you want to be a part of us, join the Faith Formation Committee and help us shape our vision. Coordinate with Sharon. Also 3, coordinate with Sharon if you want to lead an activity, whether it's storytelling, crafts, mentorship. Your presence truly does matter. You don't have to be a grandparent or a parent or an aunt or uncle. You can just be a person. We take all kinds. Because faith formation isn't just for children. It's for all of us. It's about building a space that we learn together and grow our values and create community that reflects our deepest beliefs. So I ask you, how can you show up? Your involvement, whether it's through funding, joining a community, joining a committee, leading an activity, keeps our herd strong. So it makes us a lighthouse a sanctuary, a beacon of love and belonging in an uncertain world. Faith formation isn't something passive. We don't passively just receive it. It's something we build together. This faith has been a lifeline for me, as it was for my mom, as it was for my grandma, and now I want it to be for my children. So let us be the light for others, as the faith has been for us, that we can give back and reflect it to those who most matter, our kids. Thanks.